you, listen up. The NFL season is rolling right along, and DraftKings, as an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is bringing you all the action and all the best deals. Look me in the eye. If you somehow have not signed up for DraftKings yet, well, I got a great deal for you. Download the app. Use the promo code T-Bob, T-B-O-B, and when you bet $5 on any NFL game, you get $200 in bonus bets instantly, which you can then go play with. But T-Bob, I love snaps, I love you, and I've already signed up. Well, guess what? DraftKings is taking care of all their customers throughout spooky season as you get game day sweeteners the entire month of October. So whether you're new, whether you've been around here for a while, DraftKings is the most fun place to play. It's taking care of you. Again, if you're signing up for the first time, promo code T-Bob, $5 NFL bet, nets you $200 in bonus bets instantly. So let's have some fun watching the games this spooky season. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Yo, what's happening, everybody? Welcome in for a brand new episode of Snap. Shout out everybody. B.A., Charlie, John, Goat Dog, everybody else hanging out in the chat with us right now. As always, youtube.com/@VolumeSnaps. If you want to hang out with us live every day now, noon Central, 1 Eastern, you can come do that. Very happy to be back there after having to take a little break. Thanks to some, stuff above our pay grade, but we pumped to be back, boys. Aaron, what's up, dude? How we feeling today?
Good. Besides my eye is back, but other than that, we're good to go, T-Bob. Feeling good. Ready for the weekend. Ready for these games.
John A. Schultz says, T-Bob saw you on Andy Staples show talking about Kentucky. Can't get enough of Stupid the Cats, can you? Look, no, Andy had me on.
You're Kentucky hater number one.
Guys, Andy had me on to do a show. What do you want me to say? On my other shows, I talk too much about Kentucky, so I'm not going to do it. Now, that would look, don't get me wrong. There's an Andy Kaufman-esque level of comedy there that I do appreciate. If I just shut him down and was like, nah, man, sorry, can't fucking do it. I already talked Kentucky this week. I'm done.
You should. But I'm not. Again, if you want my opinion on Kentucky, I did 2 shows of it with Murray on Snap. So go watch your research.
Exactly.
Your research.
No, I mean, we're not actually previewing Kentucky Mizzou today. I am fascinated in that game. Aaron, I see through your bets that you too like Mizzou. I don't know if I'm being a prisoner moment. I like Mizzou. What I do like is I've named this the Toilet Bowl. Okay. It's drink piss versus poops. Eli drink piss and Mark poops. Who will reign supreme? Get it? Because both their names.
Eli?
Oh, no. Nothing. Eli's awesome.
Okay.
I'm sure Stoops is awesome too. That's just funny to me that both their names make bathroom jokes like that. It's actually not the Toilet Bowl. It's actually the battle for who's probably second best in the East, depending on what happens with Tennessee. So it's actually kind of a sneaky good game. Maybe if Kentucky's any good. Whatever. God dang it. See, look, you did it again, John. This is your fault. Charlie Shepard brings it up, Aaron. Well, T-Bob, I guess you're going to be right about UGA this season. They have the Drake curse now. So I was very surprised when I woke up this morning, get in my office, I'm prepping for my morning show, and I get a text from my buddy or in my high school friend group text, and it said T-Bob plus Drake, Georgia absolutely done for. Yeah. So it was a good ride, boys, but
it was
all good things got to come to an end.
They do. I mean, listen, it's I don't know if it's the Minnesota team of the 30s setting some curse, if it's Michigan, if it's T-Bob, whatever it is. I don't know who paid Drake to put that damn shirt on with the G on it, but we all know what happens when Drake rocks your gear. You ain't gonna win. It's almost undefeated at this point. So yeah, it's been fun. Save it for next year when college football changes. Texas Oklahoma come to the conference. Save a little bit of juice, Kirby. It's fine.
I would say. Well, here's the question though: if Georgia makes the national championship and loses, is that the Drake curse, or is the Drake curse they're even going to lose the SEC?
I thought you were about to say, are they going to lose this weekend to Vanderbilt? That would
no.
That would have been that would be Drake's finest moment if Georgia loses to Vanderbilt, a team that has not scored a touchdown on Georgia in 5 straight games. If that happened, I would be terrified every time Drake puts anything on at that point.
Well, look, I do want to.
I think if they don't win a championship, the curse is alive based on the
Okay, well,
team
I do want to go ahead
expectations.
and
Yes.
I want to do two things. First off, I mean, I don't think you're going to win a championship, so that's not surprising to me that Drake's doing this. And secondly, I do want to go ahead and pre-congratulate all Georgia fans on dominating Vanderbilt, so you don't get mad at me when I'm not impressed next week. We're all very impressed with your stats you put up,
Me too.
Carson and Bowers, your 150 and everything else. We're all very happy for you. Today on the show, here we got 5 games to talk about, or 6 games. We're going to touch on Stanford, Colorado for like 2 seconds. Then we got USC at Notre Dame. Let's freaking go. Oregon at Washington. LSU, Auburn at LSU. My bad for mixing it up. Miami at UNC. And that'll be it. It's gonna be a fun show.
Yep.
As always, if you could like, subscribe, that really helps us. The road to 7K continues. Help out the boys. If you Google Snaps Podcast, share with your friends, rate and review on Apple, Spotify, whatever. Thank you. Stanford, Colorado. To me, Aaron, obviously Colorado. I mean, Colorado's at home. I think they win the game. The bigger question is, do they cover the 10.5? And with the news that it looks like Travis Hunter will be returning, I would smash this. I will be smashing it. I love Colorado in a home spot here. Stanford's bad. I like Troy Taylor, their coach that they hired. But Stanford's just not any good, quite frankly. And I think Colorado is good. I still think Colorado's going to win 8 games. Most importantly, Aaron, if Colorado beats Stanford on Friday, the 4.5 win total over hits. Let's go. Payday for your boy.
Stanford is the worst pass defense in the Pac-12 right now, giving up over 300 yards per game. Like this is not a good spot for them in this one. And you're on the road in Colorado. I don't think it's a question of thank you, T-Bob, for putting the hat on. It's not a Vanderbilt hat. It is a volume hat. It's not a question of if Colorado wins in my mind. It is a question of do they cover the spread? And I would say yes. I think you'll get
I'm with you.
a very motivated team that, at that point, then you have to win one more game to be bowl qualified. And I think they understand that. Like, you look at the rest of their schedule, UCLA is playing incredible right now. That's going to be a great game they have this weekend. That defense is just tenacious.
Defense is awesome.
Oregon State, Washington State, Utah, and Arizona has been kind of just a little tougher than what most people expect. I mean, they almost took down Washington 2 weeks ago, only lost that game 31-24, then had a close game versus USC this past weekend. It's like, that's not a given game. It's like, you have to win on Friday night for Colorado if you want to make sure that you just find one more win this season to get to that 6 wins. So I think you'll see a team that's going to be urgent, playing with some urgency. I think they're going to dominate. So I would take them with the points too.
They beaten UCLA and they beaten Arizona, dog. Get ready, bro. Okay, get ready. Dion out here, man. Actually, credit to UCLA.
But you don't want to have to win those 2 to go bowling.
No, they're not going to. They're going to beat Stanford.
They come out Friday night hot.
I know that and Greg Lamont says Stanford almost beat Arizona. Arizona's confusing. I agree. The middle portion of the Pac-12 is all very confusing, but I think there actually is a consistency to Colorado. Maybe I guess with Colorado State and Arizona State, maybe that's not true. Shout out UCLA though, 3rd in the country in stop rate right now. Chip Kelly getting it done with defense out there in the Rose Bowl. All right, let's talk USC at Notre Dame. Aaron Murray. 2 teams that have been, I'd say 2 teams that actually have pretty ample reason to be tired. Notre Dame more so, certainly. We talked about the AT yesterday, but traveling all the way to Ireland to start. Then you go to Raleigh. There's the weather delays, which take forever. That turns a day game into a night game. That lasts for, you have the multiple ranked games in a row down to the wire. Ohio State on the road at Duke, then on the road at Louisville. Now USC at home. But then at the same time, USC's coming off of a 2 a.m., 2 a.m. our time at least, triple overtime battle of their own against a team. And so it's, my instinct was to put my faith in Caleb Williams here, but the more I actually looked and thought and ruminated on this game, everything just kept coming up Notre Dame for me.
Yeah, and I was rewatching the Arizona game from USC, and that defense just got their butt smacked over. I mean, you remember when we talked about before the Colorado game? We went back and watched all the USC defense, and I texted you. I said, listen, I don't think they're that bad in the secondary. Yeah, they can't tackle well, but they're athletic. Like I feel like they can match up with the receivers. But then I text you, I said they can't stop the run for shit. Like this defensive line is just getting bullied. They can get after the quarterback, they can get TFLs, but they can't stop the run. But that's not a big deal because Colorado can't run. Well, guess what? Colorado had their best day running the football versus USC. So if you can't stop Colorado from running the football, a team that doesn't have an offensive line, that doesn't even try and run the football, try going to Notre Dame against a team with a massive running back that wants to pound it and pound it and pound it and pound it. So that to me is all you need to know. Yes, just
and Aaron, pound it when it's wet and sloppy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been raining apparently. I heard it's not supposed to be raining after kickoff time. But it's been raining like a couple inches, I think, up till kickoff. It's supposed to be in like the high 40s, low 50s. No, I'm saying like, bro, LA people don't handle bad weather at all to begin with.
I just didn't know that I would have the dirty mind in this conversation. That'd be coming from me and not you, but whatever.
Oh, no. Look, I knew what I was doing with wet and sloppy. I was just being a little subtle and just moving on from it. But the point is it a good sex joke? Maybe. Maybe it's kind of funny to you. But it is a good football point, okay? I do think that this is kind of USC's nightmare going to the Midwest, South Bend, Indiana for low 50s, high 40s, and wet as hell. Like, and I'm someone who I feel like in my own, and I hate to be like, and I played in my day, but like, I remember going to like Fayetteville for some of those Arkansas games, and it wasn't even bad weather. But I'm such a little warm boy from being in South Louisiana so long. It gets into the 40s, and I'm like, I don't know how to play. Like, I feel bad, and things almost always went awry. So, yeah, Notre Dame's strengths line up directly with USC's weaknesses. The weather's in their favor. They're at home, and they're hungry for a bounce-back win. This is a golden ticket opportunity for the Golden Domers. They win this game, well, all of a sudden, nobody gives a fuck about Louisville anymore. You're good to go, and the fan base is happy again. The only thing is the Caleb Williams factor. Yeah. He's the best quarterback in the country. He's been playing incredible.
You have to keep him in the pocket. You cannot let Caleb Williams, who is the best quarterback that I've seen in the college ranks, of creating outside the pocket. When things break down, it's almost like he wants things to break down. And he was a little bit reckless during his time in Oklahoma. He got better last year. He's not as extreme this season, but like that's when the biggest plays happen. Like you cannot let him get outside the pockets. Like I don't really care Notre Dame like what the sack numbers look like. I want him to win the football game from within inside, because you talk about the weather. This receiving core last week you watched for USC 2 really was not getting off man coverage well. And Zachariah Branch is supposed to be back in this game. He practiced this week. We'll see what he looks like coming off the injury. But if you keep him from creating those explosive plays when things break down, I think Notre Dame's defense is pretty darn good, man. Like go back and watch, them versus Ohio State. I know the quarterback difference is massive, but they matched up pretty well against those receivers for Ohio State.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's the thing. The Notre Dame defense, I think is like very legitimate. Right. And so it's a deal where, you're not going to completely stop Caleb Williams, but can you contain him? Frosty Mug says the rain won't impact throwing that much. The gusts are the issue. I did always hear that from my old man, Aaron. He always said that, like, wet ball, whatever. I don't really care. That the wind is when it really started giving problems.
Depends. Depends on hand size. I'm a 9-inch boy like T-Bob.
My dad doesn't have massive hands.
Yeah, but I struggled more with wet than windy, because if you can throw a spiral, which your boy over here, I had a nice tight spiral on my football. You could cut the wind. It's still a factor, 100%. I had more. Me personally, it's all personal. Me personally, I had more trouble in the rain than I did wind. Wind, I could care less.
And so John says low 50s, high 40s, wet as hell. Goat Dog says that's wet MILF weather. Yeah, it's gonna be wet MILF weather in South Bend this weekend. That's very funny to me. All right, so wait, but does this quote, last thing, does this quote from Lincoln Riley change your opinion, Aaron? Quote, talking about his defense. This is a much improved unit. There is no question about it. This is a unit that, when you talk about the top end potential, has a chance to really grow and get better fast. There's a lot of good things happening on this defense, man.
If
That
you look at the
is
numbers, they have improved from last year to this year. Like you cannot say it's as bad of a defense as it was a year ago. We talk about all the time. It's all about matchups. Like, where's your weakness and compared to the other team's strengths? Notre Dame's a physical football team that wants to run it down your throat, and you're not that type of defense. You're not a defense that wants to get physical. You're not a defense that wants to tackle, and you've been run on almost every single game this season. It just not fit your style at all.
Yeah, so Notre Dame was 30th in stop rate a couple of weeks ago. There's some teams 70% of the time. That has taken a huge ding. They're down to 59 and 65%. So it's been a bad couple of weeks for the Trojans. I just hope that I have somebody in my life, in my corner, like Lincoln Riley is there for his boy Alex Grinch. Like, that's that man's fucking homie. You ain't getting in between them, bruh. No outs, no new friends. No new friends in LA.
Does he make the trip
Yeah, I
back?
think.
Notre Dame puts up 40 points and
Yes.
Estimate
Yes,
runs
Lincoln,
for
yes.
175 and 2 touchdowns.
Yes.
Does his
Yes,
ass get left
absolutely.
on the
No.
tarmac? Ah,
No, bro. Lincoln
on
Riley loves
the
him.
way
You don't do
home?
that to the homies. Hell no.
I think he got to.
Um,
I think he got to.
okay, so team snap 6, Notre Dame's gonna win the game.
Yep.
Next on the list, to me, my favorite matchup of the day, the biggest matchup of the day, and that is the Oregon Ducks traveling to Washington to take on the Huskies. I'm not the best at analyzing this game, Aaron, so I'm going to lean on you because I am just looking through my heart.
You are.
This is a pure emotion pick for me. I've always loved the Huskies since last year. I bet on them a couple times. That's how our relationship
I've always
started.
loved them since like 2 weeks ago. I've always
Yeah,
loved them
exactly. Okay, well, time the fuck out. Back in 2009, I'm in my first ever college start at Washington against Jake Locker and those Huskies. Very positive memories there, so shut up. And last year, made a couple bets on them early. They're coming through. Penix is a lefty. I'm a lefty. Rocket arm. I have a rocket arm. And it just feels like we were born to be together. And so they've been my pick to win the Pac-12 all year. The uniforms are tight. The style of play is tight. The setting with the stadium right there on the water is tight. The Huskies are about to fucking smoke the Oregon Ducks.
No chance. No chance.
Yes.
Oregon's the better team. Oregon is the more complete football team. It's going to be an exciting game. Like why?
Yeah, why?
They have
Tell
a
me.
better defense.
Do they? By how much? By how much? Not that much.
Significantly. And they're more physical football. The theme of this weekend for me in these big time matchups, T-Bob, this is football. The more physical teams will win the football game. Oregon is the more physical football team. When they played Colorado,
I think Washington's going to shock you. I think Washington's going to shock you with
what happened
physicality.
with USC and Colorado and Oregon versus. I said it. Oregon has that dog in them. They want to beat the living crap out of you.
No.
I have not seen that from no. Washington is a finesse football team. They don't want to run it. They just want to throw it. The defense is better than they were last year, but it's still not a world-beating defense by any means. Oregon is the more physical football team. Oregon is the more multiple football team, and Oregon has the better defensive football team. Plain and simple. I love Washington. I think these two teams are going to rematch in the Pac-12 championship when it's all said and done, but Oregon is the more complete football team. I will put my trust in them this weekend, even on the road.
Washington's at 27. 71% stop rate, 27th in the country. Oregon's a 76% stop rate. Oregon gives up 11 points a game. Washington gives up 18.
Tulsa, Michigan State, California, and Arizona.
Okay, so Oregon had one good showing against Colorado. I don't give a shit. They beat the hell out of everybody they played. Washington did. Ain't nobody got 3 receivers like Washington got.
No, I agree.
Ain't nobody else got a McMillan, a Polk.
And now they're healthy at receiver. McMillan is back at receiver. I love this is not me shitting on Washington. I love Washington. I love Michael Penix Jr. I think the way in which he plays the game is tremendous. We think Washington and we think all these deep shots. But to me, the most impressive thing when you watch him is his ability to take the underneath when it's not there and to throw it with accuracy on the right breast. We call it the right breastplate to allow the receiver to catch and move away from the defender. He does the little things right with the accuracy that takes his game to another level. This will be an incredible challenge for Oregon. No doubt about it. 100%. This is the number 1 pass defense in the Pac-12. They only give about 4.8 yards per attempt. They're really good on the back end. I just think when I'm trying to think of a shootout right now, which defense do I trust the most to get 1 or 2 stops in this game? I trust Oregon's defense to give me a stop compared to Washington's defense.
I think there's going to be more than 1 or 2 stops in this game. I think this is going to be a game in the 30s. I don't think we hit the 40s. What do you? I mean, you just talk about how good the defenses are, and then you're like, oh, what do you? Who's the better quarterback out of Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr.?
Very minimal difference. I would say Penix a little bit more, not a ton though, not a ton. Bo is great. Bo's creative. Bo's accurate. Bo can run the ball a little bit more effectively. I think that's something that's a little bit different from him. My Penix wants to beat you in the pocket. Penix wants to beat you with his accuracy. Bo, the offense is around him with the RPOs, the zone reads, get the ball out of his hands quick. He's been accurate this season. He's taking care of the football. This is good. Both quarterbacks have been great with 2 interceptions for Penix, 1 interception for Bo. The question for Oregon, Bo in big time games in the past, at times, and part of this is during his time in Auburn, where they were not a good football team, has turned the ball over. He's had some bugaboos in that category. If he can take care of the football on the road this weekend, I would say that the comparison of quarterbacks a coin flip at that point.
I think the Washington defense is going to have something to say this week about how disrespected they've been in favor of an Oregon defense that also looks really good, but also is, in my mind, still kind of relatively untested as well. And I believe in Caleb DeBoer. I really love what Dan Lanning has done. I love his pregame speech. We talk about the redwoods, the interconnected roots. But look, man, Caleb knows how to win championships, okay? He's a 3-time NAIA champion, a 4-time GPAC champion. You say, T-Bob, what does that matter? My point is, when he was on a level playing field with his peers, he brought teams that he coached to championships. He knows how to win big games. He knows what it takes. He went 11-2 last year, better than Oregon, beat Oregon in Eugene. The only team to do that in like 20 tries. Dan Lanning just changed everything to the point where they're just going to come back and beat the Huskies now. Fuck up out of here. Woo! Wolfpack, baby, let's go. Huskies win.
Bet on this? Can we put a side
Duck
bet on
down.
this?
Duck down. Yeah, let's do it.
Straight up.
All right, straight up. Money line bet. Let's go.
Money line bet.
All right. We'll come to a monetary amount off air. Okay. You like to gamble more money than I do. Next on the list.
You said $25. It's like a friendly little.
Oh, you said 25? Oh, we do 25. Yeah. I'm down. 25. Okay. Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay.
LSU, Auburn. Auburn traveling to Death Valley. Aaron, I dove into some Auburn film this morning, and I got to say this.
And they still suck.
They do, but I do think they're actually the best teams on the line of scrimmage that LSU's faced since Florida State.
Yeah. It's a good defense.
I think their offensive line is better than the Ole Miss offensive line, Arkansas offensive line, and I think their defensive line is actually pretty nasty.
Yeah,
I really like those interior 2 guys, 50 and 52. I'm blanking on their names right now. But when you combine the fact that LSU's defense is god-awful with the fact that Auburn's pretty salty on the lines, I saw them keep it close to Georgia, and LSU-Auburn is one of those magical college football rivalries that just creates bullshit every single year, no matter what. I like the Tigers to win this game because of the home factor. I am not going to be betting this game because I do not feel comfortable at all about LSU covering the 11.5.
I would. I agree. Like Auburn's a good football. Like, what's a word that's
they're you know what they are? Bad. They're bought in.
Word?
They're bought in to
they
me.
Play hard as hell.
Like you watch the film and the skill positions, nobody really threatens you. Their leading receiver has like 180 yards, but they fucking play hard. Like the receivers, you got to block, their ass is blocking.
Yep. And
the tight ends,
hard as hell too.
the pre-snap movement, like it was impressive. It's impressive to me the amount of buy-in that Hugh Freeze has managed to create here in year 1.
Don't overthink it though. They are by far the better team, and the difference is going to be offense. Like right now, I get the we play hard mentality, but you're on the road. It's a night game in Tiger Stadium. It's going to be loud as hell. That offense cannot be stopped. There's a difference. Like Georgia was on the road, and just to compare the two, because if you want to go talent to talent, Georgia was on the road and does not have the type of offense that LSU has right now. If Georgia did, I think that would have been a different game. LSU is right now, I would take LSU's offense over anyone in the country. Anyone in the country. There's not an offense playing as well right now as LSU when it comes to being able to do everything. You can talk about Washington in their passing game. You can talk about Oregon that we just talked about, but LSU's ability to run and throw the football, and plus they have, I think, far superior offensive line than Washington does. They're the best
Yeah.
offense in America. At home, that offense will put up in the high 40s against Auburn. Are you telling me that Auburn's going to score in the 30s? I know LSU's defense sucks. Auburn's offense is not scoring in the 30s versus LSU.
No.
They're going to cover then.
But I could see Auburn scoring in the 20s. 31-21 against that good Auburn defense, maybe.
You don't think LSU's offense, which has scored 72, 41, 34, 49, 49, ain't going to score even in the low 40s at home?
I guess, yeah. I mean, very good. Maybe I'm just too close to it. And so I'm letting like fear overcome me. But it's honestly that defensive line, LSU has just had their ways.
Have we not talked about how elite LSU's offense? I mean, literally,
No.
Aaron Taylor texted me after our show yesterday. He said, "Can you please tell Georgia fans to get off my ass about not voting for Georgia to win the Joe Moorhead Award?" I'm like, listen, you ain't got to worry about this year. Like, their offense line's been good, but not as dominant as maybe we were hoping. And we'll see what the rest of the season looks like. I said, I'm putting a name out there right now that you need to take a look at. I said, you need to look at LSU's offensive line.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
they're awesome.
I think you're too close to it. I think you
no. All I'm saying is the one time LSU's offensive line struggled this year was against Florida State. And Auburn is not, and granted, they were, it's whatever, first game. Auburn is not that, but they are the best line that they've faced since then. And so I just wonder, does LSU look as overwhelming and incredibly dominating up front as they have the last few games? Because I think it's a pretty good defensive, like this will be a great barometer, Aaron, because you still got Alabama coming if you're a Tiger fan. That's going to be an incredible front seven. And you still got A&M coming, who's probably the best front seven in the entirety of the SEC this year.
The only thing, the one thing that should worry you, and this is it, is the fact that you're coming off back-to-back road games. You lost one to Ole Miss. You had a tough one versus Missouri, and Auburn's coming off a bye week.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not really worried about the setting, though.
Like that, I guess, I mean, to me, that would be my only, in my mind, trying to make an excuse of why this game could be closer. Auburn's got fresh legs. I do think Hugh Freeze is a hell of a coach. Have they made certain adjustments during the bye week? Have they improved? Had some more time to watch some film? LSU's kind of gone through a roller coaster for the past 2 weeks of those games. Do you maybe come out a little bit slow and tired? And Auburn kind of makes it close in the first half.
I'm kind of, so when I view setting, I kind of view the opposite. I think you've been on the road 4-6 games this year, and I think you're so excited to be at home. And I think it's going to be a 6 p.m. crowd where everybody's going to be crazy. It's going to be LSU only reaches the mythological Death Valley 1 to 2 times a year, and this is going to be one of them. So I like the setting. Like, that's what actually pushes me across the finish line. I'm too scared to play the cover, man. I'm too scared. You play it, and then give me part of the winnings.
No.
Yeah, as a friend. Okay, but we do both think that LSU wins, beats Auburn. Yes. We agree there.
Yep.
All right. Next on the list, final game, Miami traveling to Chapel Hill to take on North Carolina. We mentioned a get out of jail free card. This is a golden, even more so than what we mentioned earlier. If Miami can bounce back and win this game, honestly, it almost fully erases the entire Georgia Tech debacle. The flip side is, if because you control your own destiny again. You control your own destiny again. Yeah, absolutely.
We don't trust Mario Cristobal anymore. We still think he's just
no. But what I'm talking about is football, college football especially, is the ultimate. What have you done for me lately? I'm not saying we have to trust Cristobal, right? But the team would buy back in, his fans would buy back in, and Miami would have actually legitimate goals to continue to play for. If they lose this game, it all fucking crumbles. Yeah. 1 loss turns into 2. You have no more hope for an ACC championship. It is stunning everything that is on the line for the Miami Hurricanes thanks to that awful decision last week.
Yeah, it's either you're going to get a 75% filled out stadium versus Clemson the following week, or it's going to be 50% filled up. So I mean, that's what you're battling. Just still Crazy.
Tyler
God,
Van Dyke,
situation.
second highest graded quarterback in the country
He
this
is.
year,
He
according to
is.
PFF.
He is. The one where we talk about A&M and that being a sexy win in week 2. Does Jalen Milroe going off throwing the football against A&M on the road, not at home, on the road, diminish anything that Van Dyke has done this season? Because we keep telling like, oh my God, go back to that A&M game. Go back to that A&M game. Look what he did throwing the football versus A&M, and he looked really good in that game. But if Jalen Milroe can put up those numbers against the same defense on the road,
I think Jalen
kind
Milroe's
of
better than he
diminishes.
was, though, earlier this year.
Yeah, but that A&M secondary is just it's suspect. So I'm not trying to like just go back and say, hey, this is the same Tyler Van Dyke that we saw last year. I do think he has improved. I'm just saying that like that win all of a sudden and what you did offensively throwing the football isn't as, oh my God, wow, this offense and this passing attack is unbelievable. I do think UNC is much better and much improved on the defense side of the football. I
Yeah.
think Drake Maye is by far the superior quarterback. Like you asked me earlier about the Washington Oregon game of like who's the better quarterback. I think both those guys are pretty close. Different style of games, but like I would take any of them in battle. And I think both of them are going to have great games. I still am hesitant at times to say Tyler Van Dyke can go out there and win consistent big time football games where I know Drake Maye is that type of ball player. And he's got all of his weapons on offense. They had their best performance of the year last week for Syracuse. I think you're going to get a North Carolina team right now that views themselves as a legitimate playoff contender. I think they win this game. I think they cover.
Yeah, I think UNC smashes, and I'm with you. I'm taking them to cover as well. Tez Walker back, everything you just said. They seem to be finding their flow. Fourth best scoring defense in the ACC, sub 20. Now, for what it's worth, I think Miami actually has the best scoring offense and best scoring defense in the ACC right now, or maybe they're like second or
It's a
third.
good football team. It's a really good football team.
Everything just feels like it's coming up UNC right now. I fully expect UNC to make the ACC championship and be squaring up with Florida State. So give me Drake Maye and company to win this game. No, I'm sorry, John. We do not have time to do top 10 PFF grades today. Unfortunately, it's just going to remain something that we continue to talk about but never actually address. I mean, look, how about this? Next week, we'll update the grades and we can get to it then. The real shocking thing on that list was that Caleb Williams wasn't on there. It was Penix one at like a 93. Then it was Van Dyke. Then it was Daniels.
I wonder if it's because the way he plays.
Yeah, that's what me and Jake kind of tried to
it.
math out this morning.
Yeah.
That it's just he's like PFF's going to grade you. They want you to be like in the pocket and doing like your your traditional quarterback
getting
things.
through your reads.
Yeah, exactly.
Like what's
Caleb
Patrick
Williams
Mahomes?
is a little too wild.
Where's Patrick Mahomes in his grade? I'm interested to see what that is because obviously very similar playing styles. I wonder how they view his game when it comes to grading out. They color outside the lines, man. Like Caleb colors outside the lines. Like you want him to be an A+ student and force him to color in the lines.
BA says, so the only upset we picked is USC. Out of these games, well, no, Aaron likes Oregon. Aaron likes Oregon.
I like Oregon. And first off, USC is not, I thought.
And actually Notre Dame's favored. So no, the only upset that I picked is Aaron's, is
you didn't.
No, I didn't. No, the only upset we picked, was Aaron picking Oregon. So huge thank you to everybody. Hey, and a big congratulations. Should have started our guy, Ryan Brumley, now a father. Shout out family Brumley, love to the wonderful mother and dad and everything. And a huge thank you and shout out to Chris Tran and Pat Gunther for running the show in his stead. Christian Hunter, Adam Grassi, Danny Cardenas in the back end. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us here. And please like, subscribe. All those sorts of things are always bugging you about. It helps the show. The road to 7K continues. Remember, every day we're here live on youtube.com/@volume snaps, noon Central, 1 Eastern. We love you. And we will see you this weekend. I don't think we have our plans exactly nailed down yet. We'll have our gambling show with Colin Wilson drop tomorrow. Colin has been on fire, guys. So make sure you listen to Colin. I'm telling you, he is on fire right now. And that's going to be a lot of fun. We love you, and we'll see you later for some more snaps.